I had one or two Hausa boyfriends. They are too fine. They take dress code very, very seriously. The men over there are easily aroused. Yeah, too much. Seeing any part of your body, they would want to do what men know how to do best. There are Sharia laws. For alcohol is even prohibited in the north. It's not something that you drink openly. Over there in the north, we are not so comfortable. There are just conflicts of cultures, conflict of identity, conflict of religion as well. Sana undibo na ndugu ana na batacha ndibo ofuma. Ai batazie ani Igbo. Ebe ndugu ana se ka ijebe kwa bayin ka ijebe bayin. Ndibo ana zikwa afu anyi ka ya. In fact, they see us as if we are incomplete. At the point, I just wanted to identify with the Hausas. And at the point, since these Hausa people are not appreciating me, they are not welcoming me, let me identify with the Igbo clan.
Gbam. 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 Anybody know maka ise me na oge gbam. Ebe aka na wetelu na ife dị iche. Ife bụ no I quote or da gbam. If you no get mind no put body, if you no get nyash no sit down. If you no get mouth no talk. Ebe aka na wetelu ndị pụrụ iche, ndị maka esi eme ya, ndị ọ dị ka ọ dị anyị. Maka Igbo si na ọ dị ka ọ dị kpọba, ọ dị ka ọ dị egolu. Ebe aka anyị na-ekpu, ebe aka anyị na-akọwa, ebe aka anyị na-amụta ife dị iche iche gbasara ana Igbo yana ụwa niile. Afa m ka bụ Dr. Chijioke Igwendu Yambaba Odogwu Bubu, ezigbo onye Aba, nwanne Odelewa na nke ikpeazụ a. Tata enwere m onye pụrụ iche, enwere m guest, onye na-eme ife onyonyo, onye ụfọdụ n'ime nwe ike ịma n'iru akwụkwọ, ụfọdụ nwe ike fama m onye na-ekwu maka ya. Ka anyị nabata no Dr. Queen Ijeoma Igwendu Aisha Odogwu Bubu.
Thank you very much.
No.
Thank you, Dalu.
No na Gbam. Ụfọdụ n'ime unu ga na-enye anya, unu kwesịrị ịma nọ oriakụ m ka ọ bụ oriakụ m, mana ebe anyị nọ ugbu a ọbụla oriakụ m, ebe anyị nọ all my guest. Aisha, ka esi wee malụ gị, Aisha Odogwu Bubu nọ na Gbam.
Thank you very much.
Kọwala anyị kedu onye bụ Aisha Odogwu Bubu?
Okay, so first of all, Aisha bụ Ofebu Queen Ijeoma Chijioke Igwendu. And Aisha bụ character Ijeoma na play. First of all, I think I would like to code switch. So I would be speaking English language and at the same time Igbo language. So I was born in Katsina State, far north, by Mr. and Mrs. Francis Ofebu. My mother's name was Paulina Ofebu. Ebe aka no we mom, ebe aka no we je primary school, secondary school, institutions, polytechnic, Hassan Usman, Federal University Dustin-ma as well. Ebe study na polytechnic, I studied mass communication, and I moved to Federal University Dustin-ma where I studied English language. And I actually came out with flying colors. I don't want to blow my trumpet. So that's pretty much how I acquired Hausa language, because it was more like my second language at a point. So na asụ fuma. In fact, na asụ karịa Igbo language. Na jeng Hausa sosai. Hausa at a point it was traren denike fesawa. So and it just blends. I moved on with it. So fast forward to when I met a very wonderful content creator that didn't really believe in me at first, because he was like, what can you bring to my table? And I told him I have a Hausa flair. I could talk like an Hausa girl, because he was doing the whole Igbo content creation. Odogwu Bubu. Eme ife ya na some content creators. Ndedika Kimura. I used to love that pair, Odogwu Bubu na Kimura. Oge Nwansuka. So pretty much they were just promoting the Igbo culture. So, and I was friends with him then. I wanted to, add something to what he was doing at that point. So, see, Nangana Hausa, but he didn't really believe it. He was like, would his audience accept it? So something led to one thing. We gave it a try, and that was how Aisha she come to Vin. I began to, speak the Hausa, English, and the audience for Odogwu Bubu. She embraced me. She loved me, and I became his star girl, his star actor. I became not just Miss Yambaba. I became Mrs. Yambaba, Mrs. Odogwu Bubu. Just biwa mbawado. Umwaini no cheba and chusisiaha. So that was how Aisha came as a character. So I think then Odogwu Bubu was finding it difficult to, give me the name. So we wanted Hadiza. In fact, we scaled through so many names, but Aisha rather is a popular Hausa name. Everybody can pronounce it, and it just came and it stayed. So that's how Aisha
no, iPhone Igbo wazobia. Isi na ibulie na Igbo, ibulie na Oyibo, ibulie na onu ndị be anyị.
And sometimes na the mood. I also speak Yoruba, dear.
Okay.
Emi, oruko mi Aisha, oruko mi Ijoma, oruko mi Bidemi. So sometimes na sukwa Yoruba.
So you are a polyglot.
Polyglot.
Okay, polyglot. So I do want to lepota. Aisha is na ito na far north Katsina.
Yes, sir.
Okay, kedu primary school legal, kedu afia, kedu afa secondary school legal, kedu go there.
Okay. My primary school, Federal College of Education, staff school, primary school in the Federal College of Education in Katsina. It has some federal schools, they still have primary schools. So I was opportune to go to the staff school for Federal College of Education in Katsina State. Batagarawa to be precise.
Okay, secondary school.
And my secondary school, I had to blend to mission. So I went into Evangel International School. For most of you that don't know, Evangel is a school owned by Assemblies of God. I think they also have their university, Evangel University, yeah. So I went to a mission secondary school where I started from JS1 through SS3.
No. As a nwata Igbo to na Ugwu Hausa, kedu ka ọ dị? Kedu ka ito n'Ugwu Hausa dị? Was it a very wonderful experience? Ụfọdụ n'ime anyị na-etoro n'Ugwu Hausa enwekasị efe anyị nụgasị maka side a. Mgbe afọ a na-abatakwu unu asị na ndị a si Ugwu Hausa wee bata. Kedu ka ọ dị as onye to n'Ugwu Hausa? How is life over there?
To be honest, it's a bit not so wonderful, I would say, because we juggle between Ndi Igbo, that is Ndi Igbo, Ndi North side, Ndi North East, ịnabata anyị as real core Ndi Igbo. Because I believe Ndi Igbo amụrụ n'Ugwu Hausa bụchara Ndi Igbo. Like when you're birthed at the north, they see you as onye Ugwu Hausa, onye si Ugwu Hausa. So the fanara anabata Ndi Igbo nọ na East a na-anabata si ndị si na ndị amụrụ n'Ugwu Hausa. Na-asụ Igbo ebe a fanasị m na Igbo meghere ya. Fanasị m na amara m asụ Igbo, nke a ji emekwa nke emere nka. While anyị jezie na that north ebe anwa anyị busy, ndị ugwu na ebe anwa na-afụzi anyị as outsiders because they see us as Arne. Arne is actually a word. Arne bụ a fanatic. Arne bụ an atheist. Sometimes, so there are just conflicts of cultures, conflicts of identity, conflicts of religion as well. So over there in the north, we are not so comfortable. Igbos ana Ndi Igbo na ndị ugwu ana anabatacha Ndi Igbo ofuma. So it's just as if we are just living on our toes, more like I'm being honest. And I batazie ani Igbo. Ebe ndị ugwu ana say ka ijebe kwa banye ka ijebe banye. So I batazie ani Igbo. Ndị Igbo anazikwa afụ anyị ka anyị. They see us as as if we are incomplete. This person is not ọṅụrụ mmiri ndị Igbo, not mmiri ndị ugwu ka ọ ṅụrụ.
Amụrụ ya n'ụlọ.
Yes, amụrụ ya n'ụlọ. So amapụtụrụ ya 2 cups or 3 cups as in onye chara ihe. So it's just it didn't balance. So I had more like conflict of identity for me personally growing up, because at the point I just wanted to identify with the Hausas, and at the point, oh my God, since these Hausa people are not appreciating me, they are not welcoming me, let me identify with the Igbo clan as well. But I don't know. I think I'm still finding my foot, so to say, even at this point, because sometimes I just don't really know where I belong.
No.
Yes, thank you.
No. As a onye Igbo tolu n'ugwu Hausa, kedu ka isi wee malụkwa ka esi asụtanya bụ Igbo obele? Maka na enwe ndị to side a na-amara asụ chemgbem, nwe ndị tokwa side a na-amara asụ Hausa. No Igbo ka a na-asụ. Kedu ka isi wee mụta Igbo, mụtakwanya bụ Hausa, na-asụkwa ya ka o si wee dị mma? Gaa n'iru.
Okay, so I think this is a dicey question. First of all, individually, when they now flair for language, like you just love languages, it is easy for you to acquire multiple languages. It's just a natural thing. Then sometimes society, or let me bring it down to parents playing roles. So I'm very grateful for my parents, in as much as we grew up in the far in a far place where we weren't rooted in our culture. My father, my mother, they made it a duty to instill Igbo culture in us, starting with the language. Because my father, he loves oneme yomenana too much. Na meeting because Ipurana from the southeast, they do all these their Igbo meetings, Igbo associations. You know, Igbo people, they identify their in the fascists. Yes, so because when that number and when they Orumba starts umunze, so fana biakono, then they hold meetings monthly, yearly, and all of that. So I think my father was one of the pioneers, and he was in charge of them. So he was doing all of that. He always on a do meetings, even for all of those things. We go there, we see how things are being done in the East. You know, just give us more like they mirror what happens in the East to us in the North. So these things help us when we come back to the East. It is easier for us to, you know, blend sort of. So those things are no longer new to us. So having said that, to answer your question directly, my parents played that role. They made sure they taught us Igbo language. At home, if I nasubu Igbo, Makafamana, of course, they sent us to better schools. So we would be opportuned to learn English language. And it was just that. Another thing again, it was easy for me to acquire the Hausa language because it is just natural among children. I keep saying this to people that ask me. You know, when a child is young, I studied English language. So there is a course in I think like one of our courses that they teach about how humans acquire language. So a younger person, baby kunaka, with a tendency of acquiring so many languages, provided you expose that child to those languages, because there is something in your brain called tabula rasa. So the tabula rasa is usually empty for a newborn. As time goes on, he will be filling that tabula rasa with so many things, so many languages. And it gets to a point where ojugo, batazi languages. So, at a younger age, you expose your children to languages. Hausa, Yoruba, Mandarin, Spanish, French. Don't think it will confuse them. It wouldn't. They would acquire them naturally. And as time goes on, fana etozi, fana asuzie. Mana open mirror like that, a child grows up, it will get to a certain age, he or she doesn't have that prowess, doesn't have that ability to acquire any language anymore. So I think that was what happened to me, because I was just exposed to Igbo language, Hausa language, and of course English language, and the Yoruba language, because I grew up in a neighborhood where I had Yoruba neighbors, Yoruba people. I think that was how I acquired the little Yoruba I can speak now. Had it been exposed to so many Ngana Asuka, fact, at a point, I was also speaking Arabic too, reciting Arabic, because the school I went to, primary school, in the morning, for other Muslim will pray, will recite their Quran. Christian will say their prayers. So I think I picked up those ones because I can say little prayers in Arabic. And of course, by virtue of growing up in the north, I also learned few.
Can we hear the few Arabic prayers that you can?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Auzubillahi shaitanirrahim. Let me stop there, so that I don't go deep.
I don't need to go anywhere for greener pasture because I'm okay here. You know why? I am into land banking with Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited. Abi una no know say doctors too dey into real estate.
Ese na ndị Igbo na-enwegasị ọgbakọ dị iche iche,
Yes.
dịka ndị Ụmụnze, dịka ndị Orumba, dịka ndị Anambra. Kedu ndị Igbo, kedu obodo dịkarị dominant na ebe ito? Kedu ndị dịkarị dominant?
Ndị Anambra, kwefuru ebe ọbụla ije, ndị Anambra nwere, they have this elegance, they have this demure, they have this vibe with them that everybody wants to identify with them. I remember because NMA meetings, each state. Sometimes you ga ndị Enugu State, ndị Nsukka, fa bịa yo, si ka fa join ya meeting ndị Anambra. For instance, okay, because even na Anambra enwere ma ndị Igbo Ukwu, ma ndị Ọkụzụ, ma different local governments ọnakwa. So side nke m bụ maka abụ m onye Orumba South. My father bụ onye Orumba South, my mother bụ onye Orumba North. My mom is from Ufuma. My dad was from Umunze. So manafa na-eme call meeting together. Orumba North and Orumba South na-eme call meeting together. And I think fana otu akpotu. So I still remember then ndị Nsukka abịa na Ayobiko ka etinye afafa na fachọrọ. They want to belong to this association, and it was it. So generally, Igbo ndị Anambra nọ na Katsina State fana eme ọfụma. They do well. You know, business-wise, they dominate in so many spheres there. Business, you know, religion, work. Okay. Ndị Imo State bụ ndị banyechara n'ọrụ gọọmenti na ndị otie. Yeah, like they dominate more. But in terms of business, in terms of social life, in terms of ife na akpọtụ, ife na, you know, not very loud. I give it to my Anambra people nọ na Katsina State.
N'ime Anambra, kedu obodo kasịnụ ka dị dominant?
Ndị Vava, ndị Ọkụzụ. Ndị Ọkụzụ, yes, ndị Ọkụzụ. Because in fact, I don't know. Should I say? Yeah, vibe. Yeah. If anyone at Buffalo, because to us, like we feel they sound, they sound together. Yeah, Dodd. Yeah, so.
Bianco. Bianco, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Ọkụzụ bụ be nne m, ikwu nne m dị na Ọkụzụ, and Ọkụzụ na-eme ọfụma ebe ọ na Vajel. Anyị kọwala anyị azụ onye jelu university na Katsina, ikwuru okwu na ije university na Katsina, Dustin-ma or something like that.
Yes.
Anyị nwagalụ na Igbo a. Kedu ka o si dị na Katsina? Or the as free as anyị nwaga, you know, anyị na-enwecha SUG night, SUG party, eje canteen, nwụọ bịa, nwụọ mmanya, chụọ nwaanyị, you know, gbolingo dị na ya. Ndị lecturers ụfọdụ achọ ka ha di na nwaanyị before apasị ya ha. Ụfọdụ asị gị na eme apasị. Ụmụ dị ha, kedu ka o si wee dị na University Ija Enugu Hausa? Ganiru?
Okay. You know, just like I told you, anyway, we have cultural differences. The life in the north is a total different life entirely. And life here in the east is different. In fact, it's all opposite. I'm still finding my way here in the east, because so many things are still new to me, even at my age. There are things I will see, I'll be like, Jesus Christ. So in the north, things are quite calmer. Imana fanwe their Sharia laws. First of all, alcohol is even prohibited in the north. It's not something that you drink openly. It's not something that you boast. Ina nyamba. Inwe anya enwudogu. Onwe na zu na ege tinye gị nwere onye ga na afụzi gị ọzọ. So, and the dress code, they take dress code very, very seriously. Imana, the northern parts, they cover their body. So they expect every person living there to also do like
do as romance.
Yes, when you go to Rome, you do like the romance, yeah. So they want that. They take dress code very seriously. So for my school, where I went to, but then it was even a normal thing to me. It was my life. I grew up like that all through my life. I didn't know that I didn't know they wear skimpy things because except maybe for movies that I see them. But na Katsina there, it was my way of life. In fact, I wear hijab, of course. Yeah, some of my rules. But that aside, I think at the time I was wearing hijab to school. I make sure that when I wear long trousers, I wear big shirts. That was how we dress. We wear socks, we wear so many things just to cover our body because those things are not allowed. And in school, I'm not coming here about social nights or be social. I've never heard. I didn't hear. Yes,
departmental nights.
Cha. No. So those things, except for now, because of course changes are happening, and the Gen Z era and this or Gen X, so people are beginning to challenge the norm, the customs, because if a girl can do these things in Lagos, can do these things in Oka, why can't I do them in Katsina? So we begin to find people rising up to question the status quo. And I think that's the little change that has come there. But then you would never compare it to life in outside the north. Because like I said, I had that cultural question when I left the north. I was opportune to serve at Cross River, Calabar. But there, things are things are just vague. People do things literally. Nobody, things liberal because when your orientation, alcohol, beer. And when I see those things, subconsciously, I'm surprised. Like I'll be like, are you not ashamed? Why are you doing this? So it's made me, I really didn't vibe with people. Girls, when I see them, wear skimpy things, wear clothes that expose them, I'm like, well, I don't want to look judgmental because in this age, when you are judgmental, people will alienate you. People will just throw you to the side because they want to live their life. They want to be liberal. They want to be free. And that is actually something contributing to the societal menace we are having now. If I should pick, I would still stick to my northern life because there is honor, there is dignity, there is respect in decency. When you see indecency, it reeks of dirt, it reeks of irritation, it reeks of no. But decency, come on. It's lovely.
And I took one university wage and Anabuka cheek. Go and careful.
But na aga na-eme na nwoke bụ nwoke, nwaanyị bụ nwaanyị. Regardless of however you emancy or you would have to, men, they have it inside, the libido, the urge to go after women. It's just natural. And I won't, I think I'll be honest. Nwoke Hausa na-achụ nwaanyị go. The northern, as in, too much. So when they see, and I think that's why that's why they actually cover up well. Thinking of it now, I think that's part of the reason why they cover up well. Because the men over there are easily, aroused. Seeing your laugh. In fact, seeing any part of your body, they would want to do what men know how to do best. But there is some sort of control now, just like I told you earlier. People are evolving. People are beginning to question so many things. So fun experience change. Back then in school, of course, adolescents would be adolescents. I got you wine. But there is moderacy. Overall, this Southeast where virtually most of the students cohabit. That was new to me. It was when I got here, I learned that people cohabit. I don't know, call me but that's how I grew up. I was surprised when I learned girls live with, there it doesn't happen. We don't get to see those things. And the few ones that do it, by the time they look you the eye they look people, they would stop it. So it's just everywhere. Mmiri na-ezo ebe niile, mana ọ ka ezo this parts of Nigeria. Yeah. Corruption there, but too much.
Onye na-atụ n'oge ọzọ mana ọ tụkarị n'ọka.
I tell you.
Aisha, onwe possibility na ịka anụ onye Hausa and enwelu ndị Igbo nnọkwa side anya na-anụkwa ndị ugwu side enwe possibility na ịka anụ onye Hausa number one. Then kedu enwe any difference enwe ihe ndị ụmụ nwoke ndị Hausa azụ nwa agbọghọ ibute onugwu Hausa enwe ihe ụmụ nwoke ụmụ ikorobịa ha na-eme dị mma karịa nke ndị Igbo na-eme ka onwe nke ndị Igbo na-eme ka mma karịa nke ha na-eme as a young girl chọọ ịnụ di maybe asị na ndị akadimo romantic mana ndị akadimo stingy enwe ụmụ ihe a dị ka n'iru.
Okay, so to be honest, ụmụ nwoke ndị ugwu na-ama mma pieces, like they are too handsome. Ah, God. You know this thing when you see a guy and then as a woman you have goosebumps. That's how we do it. That's how the northern guys are. They are too fine because they are blend, mixture of Hausa and Fulani actually. So, and Fulanis, they look like Indians. They look like all those Asian people. So, nduguna mama. I personally, I had one or two Hausa boyfriends. Imagoni home as just normal boyfriends, boyfriend and Sarah. If my parents were open, because right from Matarife, I know my father used to sing it as an anthem that he doesn't want any of his children to do anything with an Hausa person. Ochoro kwa meko okay na wine bo Hausa Sarah. So subconsciously it registered in my head. I never thought about it. I didn't because of course my parents would never bless such union. And speaking of it now, I feel it is not just fair because they are humans. An Igbo woman no ebere kadie no onye ocha. Kadie no onye China. Ka nwe ya no onye ocha. Ka nwe ya no onye China. Ka nwe ya no onye India. But only as no onye ugwu ka ọ chọrọ ịnụ. She would be like, God forbid, you will not do this, or you not do. And at the end of the day, it is not should I say tribe? Because when you get to know someone one-on-one, it is now beyond tribe. It is individualistic. You get to see that this person is even a nice person. He's lovable. He's caring because he's a human being. The only crime is that he's an Hausa person. And Igbo people at all, Igbo people everywhere, I think they're not just welcoming of the Hausa people. Far like Rondu, cha. They would irk, they would be like, banaka or mami. So that was one thing that made me not to even look at that side, that aspect. But I had cool friends that were lovely. And the men, they respect their women. Hausa men respect their women. But that's a two-way thing. Because they are when they gabo, if I respect women, if I get respect if I to the core. When they gabo, if I disrespect, they will disrespect to the core. So I think there is the love there, or the situation is more stratified by class. The elites tend to treat their women well, shower their women with love. If you find an Hausa elite, it'd be like say you don't find Maga, because he would give you everything you want. He would care for you with everything he has, and they give. I think that's more of their love language. They give a lot. Obuna he must give you. Then, just like I said, it is stratified. The lower class, when you faji, there is nothing to show for. So, and since they now misuse and disrespect their women, and I think that's more of it when it comes to their men.
Dalo, Let's help you create some magic. Let's help you capture your best moments. Let's help you relive your memories. Book us now at Yarn Content Factory. Let's give your events and video production the perfect touch. Ka ihe nwekwu maka cost of living as onye no side ebe ugbu a kedu ihe nwekwu maka cost of living the both regions?
Ndugwu do very, very honest. I think that's one thing I'll give to them. They don't cheat. Ndugwu believe na they want to get everything. Oburu na anoreba, like it's just here now, and then they pour money or whatever it is that they pour that people need. And now I'm being sincere now. And now someone will come and pick what would be enough for him. He will go, believing that others need. But an Igbo person, oge bugodu zoje chokot last, bubu siako onye obana no there, obokochara everything. That's how, that's how bad the Igbos are, yes. But the Hausa man, they are honest. They want everybody to live well. Things are quite cheap in the north. Till today, I think I've left north for like, say, 3 to 4 years. I still buy every of my thing there in the north. From my tomato, my everything. I send money, I buy, and they weigh bill to me. Even after doing all of that, I think it is still cheaper when I weigh them here. But here, ndị Igbo, hi Chineke. Abụkwa onye Igbo mana m ga-ekwu eziokwu. Ndị Igbo afụchara onwe fa n'anya nke ụnanwa. Because upon if you'll be selfless. You won't be selfish. You will think of your neighbor. But then an average Igbo person is selfish. All he thinks of is himself. He doesn't even want to think of his neighbor or another person. We have palm kernel, palm fruits. Those things are here. It's not as if they import them. But they are so expensive. A pint of gari now is over 4,000 naira. And these things are here. It's not as if you import them. They are here. When you go to the in the northern region now, for a while, they've been, terrorized with the whole insurgency, what have you, banditry. So it doesn't even avail farmers to go to the farm. Or just few farmers go to the farm. Even the ones that go to the farm, they end up, vandalizing their crops and everything. But even after they harvest it, they still sell at a cheaper rate. But here in the East, those things are not so rampant here. They still have the liberty of going to the farm, harvest and sell, which should even be cheaper because they are not threatened by anything whatsoever. But they are still so expensive that even a normal person cannot afford those things. But the North, where they are being terrorized, that should even give them the leverage to sell things at an expensive price. They don't do it. That is how selfless they are. That's just things are cost of living is cheap. In the North, you can still see a 4-bedroom for 400,000. What am I saying? 300,000. You can still get a solid house now with your 250,000. You go the ball. You go live for mansion. But they're not born you where to get that standard for here for not less than 1 million naira. Everything there is just cheap. They make everything so, affordable. And that is why some of those Igbo persons that are in the north, some of those other tribes that are settlers there, it is now difficult for them to live. Because some people now say, "Abatazie no nkefu nime na ebe ahụ, abatazie." Hasi ka ife na abata eme ka mbata ka nwanne mgbuo mu. Ọ ka mma na nnọrọ ebe ahụ. Because ọ bụ na fa bata ebe a, agụ nwere ike ogbuo ha. Because nwanne gị nwere ike onye gị ni 2 days 3 times or sị gị na-eje chọkwa isi onwe gị. Mana ebe ahụ you already know your nooks and cranny. You know how to go about your life and then get it well. You get? But here, or just the difference in economy is just too much. Or like North neighbor, East neighbor. The difference is too much that at some time you will just be like, let me just stay over there and continue living my life because you dey ball there. Person, you know, a millionaire neighbor and with 2 million, you go dey ball well. Man, again neighbor, 2 million naira before a day safe. Ami for Sisigie. At talking about this, we are still going back and forth with Inde Nepa. And now sikwa na ana amiyoko, anara amiyoko. Do you know that in the north, those things are not there? When they come to the internet, when they come online and they hear people quarreling or bantering over units or no unit, they are like, what is this people talking? My mom still stays in the north, and I think last 2 days she was angry, furious that she paid 2,000 naira, 2K for a month though, because they still do their postpaid and everything. A month, what she pays is 2,000 naira, and okuna adia too much. So if on a barambabuna, okay, that she came back, there's no light, blah blah blah. That when she goes out, there is always light. Immediately she comes back and say, "I go nekina," when she's 2,000 naira in the north, and you come here, 50,000 naira cannot give you good lights for a week. That is if your electronics are even off. So that's for you to still see that those people, they are living in another country, and Una side, this southeast, I think we are Amarame by now.
So kedu ihe ị ga-asịkwa nna anyị na-emete dị chacha? Ọ dịzị aka ị na-ebe anyị kelekele? Ọ dịzị aka ị na-egbu anyị chancham? Kedu ihe ị ga-asịkwa nna anyị nwa bụ ndị Igbo na-emete ya?
Okay. I will keep just because I was born in the north, I would always, one of the things I give to myself is my honesty. I'm very, very honest. I'm an honest person. So I keep saying what is obtainable wherever you go. The East, even Mandi Boni Mofuma Bonafana Bambo. I think it is even of recent. Kiga na ganonzo ifunde na ya yo. If only Igbo na ya yo. It is very high. It is seldom. You don't really see these things every time, often. But if you are opportune to cross, in fact, from Abuja down to all the northern region, you see beggars. They are lazy. Far the very, very lazy. Far na too much. Far believe na only far na in life back home. Don't abun dezo goromu. Like whatever comes to them, they will embrace it. They just live this life knowing that tomorrow will come and go. Tomorrow no they come, can't stay. Tomorrow will come, it will go. So they don't want to doga because echiadi agwago. Manandi bona atafana they will be doing to accumulate to save for rainy days and all of that. So I think I give it to them. Igbos are industrious. Shout out to all the Igbo persons out there because they know they carry last. Wherever an Igbo person goes to, he makes a difference. There's just this outstanding uniqueness about the Igbo person. Like he wants to stand out. He wants to be indispensable. He wants to be noticed, not for bad though, for good. He likes to bring innovations to places. Malandugu, yeah, sekwa. Often when you Fabian no to me pay shop, the kaibe 10, 11, they don't close and go house, go rest. Maybe when as the spirit guides, they might come back or they might not even come back. But an Igbo man, 247, they are always available. When you call an Igbo man, he never fails. So that I think that's pretty much a big bonus.
As a Christian, not, and when we maka Muslim religion. And then, any disparity between kedu idiche dị na anyị nwa bụ ndị na-eso Kristi na ha nwa bụ ndị na-akpọ isi naanị enwe ihe anyị na-awọtara about them ngwa nọgide ebe a wọta sịkwa na ụdị ha adịrị otu a and enwe ihe ha na-eme ịbata ịfụ na ndị ụka adịghị eme ma ihe ndị ụka na-eme ha nwa na-adịghị eme. Do you have anything to say about that? Go ahead.
Okay, when it comes to religion, I think religion is an individual something. I'm a sucker for individual because I believe whatever it is that's and whatever it is we practice, it should be between a person and whoever it is or whatever it is he believes in.
Supreme being.
Yes. So religion per se, the northerners, most of them practice the Islamic religion. We still have the northern persons that are Christians, those ones that still practice Christianity. Yeah. So when it comes to the Muslims, now Muslim kwa, enwekwa ife adịka denomination. When I see when a Christian, then when they choosing, when they deeper life, when they Catholic, and when you see them, you easily you identify them. So na Islam, when na on the Izala, bu more like these people that are, should I say, they are extreme. They love their religion so much that they are more like extremists. They don't play with their religion. If you use it to play, they can take off your head. They can do anything for their religion. We have the Erika. Those ones are the liberal. They believe in humanity more like it. They still uphold humanity more than the religion. And then we have Shia. Those ones are they are a blend of the Rika and the Izala. But in all of these, it is an Izala man that would discomfort any person that is not Izala, that is not Muslim, because they believe whatever it is you are practicing is nyama nyama. Whatever it is, they see everybody as Arne. Arne is an atheist, and they hate Arnes with passion. So whenever they see a person that is not Izala, of course, they don't even Muslim. Just like I told you, now Muslim, Islam, found other, the Rika, Shia. So Izala man does not even rate the Rika. He doesn't even rate the Shia. Just like sometimes you see the choosing persons or deeper life persons, they don't really take people from Catholics serious because they feel Catholicism is, liberal, they don't see them as core Christians. So that's how these Izala persons don't see other Muslims as core Muslims. So these persons are the ones that sometimes, bring a little turmoil, a little turbulence. But other than that, just like I told you, it is an individual something. You still find those that are welcoming. They don't allow their religion get in between them and people, them and their business. There's this sort of adjustment and balance. So they make life worth it. So the Izala, they see other Muslims as if they are non-Muslims, just the way some denominations see other Christians as antichrist. So I think they are just the persons that, make living not so wonderful. And just like I said, I'm just this believer of individualism. I believe everything starts from a person because it takes a person to create change, to make a difference. So talking about religion, some individuals don't really allow the whole religion, come between their relationship with people, relationship with business, relationship with work, relationship with, their day-to-day activities. So other than that, some of them are, they are welcoming, they are hospitable, provided you don't look for their trouble, you don't question their religion. That's the Izala person. So, but the other, the other ones, the Erika, the Shia, they don't have problem. They're just like the average Christian that is not a fanatic. Yeah.
Dalorinne. Onye ọbụla tonungo Hausa, a na-ajụ ya kedu ka mana anọgide asị na agbala ọsọ n'ugwu Hausa gbanata n'Igbo. A na-agba ọsọ na na-anụ ya na-anụ ọgụ. Ebe a unu to ụdị ha dịcha abịa nọgide agba ọsọ ma ọzọ abịa na-ezo na-anụ ọgụ Hausa na Igbo.
Okay. So, ebe nobeto Katsina State. Katsina State is one of the most peaceful northern states. We imagine things right about now, everywhere in the country is not so secured anymore. So I think I would give that benefit of doubt. But before now, things were very smooth, very secured. Katsina State never experienced a bomb blast in Megasim and I say some northern parts like northeast though no, even when Kano, not to as you get Kano had so many bomb blasts, you can on record, so many. Agana Kantinkweri, Agana Sabongeri, so many places in Kano State. But Katsina remains the best and safest. We didn't experience that. If I wanna see that they would run to other states, no, it didn't. And okay, I think I heard some history that some time ago, like years back, Amy and the na Katsina now, so Amy and the Katsina State, no bebe ochande non-indigen. Where was the non-indigen? Where si fana Fabiana fan we me factory. Unknowing to them, the emir then, or him and his people, they dug a very deep hole. So when all the non-indigens came, Fabiaba Kopu had that dungeon and they buried them alive, blah, blah. Although I don't know, it was more like a hearsay. Yeah. I don't know about it. I don't know about the validity, but virtually every Hausa Katsina person will tell you that. So after that, at the point, things were now upside down for them. They were experiencing so many things, so many ill lucks. Yeah. And the address, as if I know that family, yeah, na cost chayan. So the king, the emir, I call emir bu king, the emir made his children promise him that they would never harm any non-Hausa persons, any non-indigens, that they would always welcome them because that would be the secret of their success, their liberation and everything. So that was how they became so accommodating. That's more like, I don't know if it's true, but what's not just one person, not two persons, not three persons. It's more like a myth. You get, and there are some elements of truth to mythologies.
I don't need to go anywhere for greener pasture because I'm okay here. You know why? I am into land banking with Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited. Abi una no say doctors today into real estate.
So
ụfọdụ ga na-asụkwa ọbọsụkwa Aisha nọ ebe a gwa anyị okwu otu anyị si asụ Hausa English kene ndị fans gị na Hausa ma one or two things kwa.
If I name it, Aisha is a character, yes. And Odogwu is actually interviewing Ijoma as a person.
Yes.
Most people think Aisha is Aisha even off camera. They don't know there is Ijoma off camera. So it's a role I play, Aisha. So whenever I'm in my regalia, whenever I'm in my act, of course, you guys would be the Aisha person. So that's why this is just to make you not to get confused because it's still the same person. But since the host wants me to give you a touch of the Aisha, I think from now on, I shall continue to sound like Aisha because that is the person that the host she's want to hear. So this is me on fasten, on flesh, and blood inside me.
Okay.
You ask me anything, I shall answer on you.
Okay. Ị ga-eji asụsụ a wee zam some.
Gbam fala.
Ngwa gị pụtazia ịpụta because ife a bụ interview.
Gbam fala.
Kedu ka isi wee meet di gị? How did you meet your husband?
Questions just to my heart. Okay, I shall answer you. I made the lover on my life for Facebook. Facebook's the owner, she's Muk Zuckerberg. Yeah. So I meet my husband on the line. I used to love for my husband. I used to be pants on him. She's the owner of Yamboba. So the Yamboba that I follow him online because I hear she's Yambaba. I thought that she's Hausa man. And Yambaba, me kuma I am over there note. I said to let me be following the page for this man. So she's do so many experience, so many love. Like Gainando Suna, Yambaba girl of the day, Miss Yambaba, so many occasions that she's go on the program on the page. So I began to put my pictures there. Unknowing on me, that's the man she used to look at my picture, the owner of the page. She used to look at my picture. So she took interest on me, who I am. When she chatted me off, she said, because she got the number of all the girls, because we used to put the number there. So that is how the man of Yambaba, she's chatted me up. We began to talk. One thing she's led to another thing. Me, I did not believe it because I say, okay, this man, she's big man. How she's Paul for ordinary me. But on occasions she's come, I realization that the man she's not Igbo Hausa man. That the man she's Igbo. So when I got that, and me kuma I am some kind of Inyamiri Metindoya. So we began to vibe. So that is how small boy, because I am on par not Katsina, she is on Anambra, Uka. She wanted me to come from there to meet him. Me, I am a good girl. Me, I'm not girls that she's do runs because I don't know how to run. So I told him that I cannot come to see him. And the communication, she's finished. She's over. We quartered the relationship. She's going him way, me, I go my way. And after so many years, I finished school. From there, I come to do Botankasa. You know, Botankasa, she's called NYSC. They throw me from Katsina to cross river. I cross the river. I met him online, Kuma. She told me, oh, baby, yeah, one thing she's led to another thing. We began to do communication again. So one communication, she's now led to something, and she said to us, since I am near approximation, near Cross River, Uka, we are near, that we can come to see eye on eye, not the other way around, just eye on eye. What now she's doing it possible during the COVID-19, yes, Corona season. Every person she's locked down. She's inside lockdown. That is how we lock off. And from there, something she's done to something. Today I am here. She is here. That is how I met.
You put us in the character of Aisha. Can I continue as Ijoma? If of a chakwana, you know, content.
Okay.
Okay, Kadoka and Gina Digis will be the Merocano Aisha no Odogwu Bubu. Odogwu and Aisha Aketa Ama now. How did you guys started doing Odogwu and Aisha?
You know, I think I would just say what would be, because I think, just like I said earlier, Odogwu didn't really know. He really didn't see much. He didn't know Aisha would be better and be. I'm talking from my own perspective, because Odogwu had what he was doing with other girls. Content wise.
Humanizing content.
We are talking about content, of course.
I'm host, but I can budigi. So now
Odogwu had what he was doing with other girls, content wise, and otherwise, I don't know. But let's just talk about content. So content wise, he had Kimura. I used to like the pair, the duo. Kimura and Odogwu Bubu and other girls. I just, I liked him naturally. So I liked what he was doing. But then we were now a couple. Yeah, we were having relationship. I've always known I would, because I studied mass communication, studied English language. I knew that I have a place in this social space. But then I didn't know how to fuse myself in what he's doing. A time came, I thought to myself that I could do this. Okay, it should be different. So I talked to Odogwu about it. But at first he was like, can you do it? Blah, blah, blah. He was just having cold feet because he already had crews. He already had artists. Then he said finally he gave me listening ears and we tried doing something. But I was shy. I couldn't act in his presence. I don't know. Maybe seeking for validation because I didn't want to disappoint him. And some people don't know. Sometimes I could be a shy person. I could be an introvert. I'm not so much of an extrovert. So I couldn't act in his spread. The content-wise, I needed him not to be in the room. But we did what we did and it blew. It was massive. Everywhere online, it was Aisha and Odogwu. People loved it because for the first time, it was more of a deviance. He totally deviated from his script, so to say, because he has been doing things with Igbo girls that entailed shaking their boobs, that entail, showing their buttocks, showing some private parts, making public see what, they're not supposed to see. And this is now a Hausa girl, I brought in my Hausa culture. I covered my body. Nobody was seeing any part of me. The only thing that they were hearing was a voice, a unique dialect. And it sold. People bought it. People loved it. That was how we started Odogwu and Aisha. That was the bet of it. And even when we did it, I was like, how do we continue? So one thing about Odogwu is that he's a man of vision. He sees before he sees before you think. Before you see something, he has already seen it. He has already analyzed it. So even when we started Odogwu and Aisha, I was like, how do we go from here? Because it's one thing for you to bring something and people like it. And it's another thing for you to sustain that, to continue giving them what they want. I didn't have so much faith in myself because I didn't know what I can give. I'm not a comedian. People think Aisha is a comedian. People think Aisha is funny. Aisha is just what Aisha is an executioner. She executes what she's given. Everything you see Aisha do is a brainchild of Odogwu. Odogwu thinks, Odogwu writes, Odogwu says, Odogwu directs, and Aisha interprets, translates. So with understanding, Aisha kept doing what Odogwu was telling her, what Odogwu was feeding her, and, with God and our fans, we've come this far. That's how Aisha started, and that's how she got to where she is.
I went where BBC made interview.
Okay.
BBC Hausa made interview, and ije mgba ngina ha emecha ya bụ interview. Kedu ihe kpata iji wee jee the interview, and kedu ihe nkwuchara ya bụ interview? Kaniru?
Okay, so one thing about life is that people don't know how sweet language is. I frown when I see people. Okay, I know this is going to be a contrast of what I'm about saying, but I'm speaking English solely for the purpose of understanding, because what I speak at home is Igbo language. I speak Igbo. I love my language so much that is what I speak, and that is what I try to inculcate in my children right now. So one thing about language is that it is sweet and it takes you further than a foreign language. I was speaking my Hausa English, that's my Aisha Hausa English, and I was identifying as an Igbo girl. But, my Hausa, because initially people didn't know where I come from actually. There was a confusion in the sense that this girl speaks like an Hausa person. And actually I have the look of an Hausa person. So it was difficult for people to identify where I came from. I saw the Aisha sold me as an Hausa girl. The people from the north, that was when they began to accept me, They began to accept, I was not making them proud. One thing that we don't see in the space is an Hausa girl speaking up, an Hausa girl socializing, doing well in the social space, because the Hausa girl is believed that she belongs in the kitchen, she belongs at home, she belongs in the room, she doesn't belong in the public, she shouldn't be seen, she shouldn't be heard. Just her husband should hear her and her father should hear her. So me, coming as an Hausa girl and then speaking for everybody to hear was something that they wanted to connect with, they wanted to relate with, they wanted to applaud. So that gave me some kind of visibility in the northern space, and it made me popular among them. And of course, popularity, what comes with popularity? People want to identify with you. I think that was what catapulted that invite, because Aisha rose up. Aisha identifies as an Hausa girl, and she's doing what an average Hausa girl is not allowed to do. Aisha is questioning the status quo. So it means this girl is brave, and we want braveness. Okay, come to our studio. Let's interview you. Tell us about yourself, how you were able to learn Hausa language, how you were able to, mingle with Hausas, and how you were able to do what you're doing. That was what BBC Hausa interview was all about. And I was at the space. I was welcomed. I was asked a few questions on how I was able to speak, how I was able to do the content I was doing then, and all of that.
Enwe ndị ga na-ekiri anyị, ihe a ji mara gị kịta bụ content gị na di gị na-eme. Di gị bụ Odogwu Bubu, ngụwa bụ Aisha. Inwe ike content di na nwunye. Inwe ike kọwara anyị ihe mee unju ebido such family content, and content a na-eme o ihe dị real o ihe na-eme. Ụfọdụ na-asị na prank, ụfọdụ asị na real, ụfọdụ asị na content, ụfọdụ asị na acting. Inwe ike kọwara anyị o ihe na-eme n'ime ndụ unu na-egosi ụwa ka ọ bụ just kọwala anyị ka ihe m nji ebido ụdị content and then o ihe na-eme n'ime ndụ unu ọ real ka ọ fake ka ọ content ka ọ prank gaa n'iru.
Okay, so Odogwu and Aisha, we started off as, friends. Remember, these are two separate individuals that outside of camera, we are a couple. And somehow we were able to unite our characters and unite our acts and our life. We made it a sync. So to say that Aisha transformed to Ijoma, can easily transform to Ijoma. Odogwu Bubu can easily translate or transfer to Chijioke. It was more like a relationship. And it made it difficult for people to filter reality and content. I don't blame you. We are good actors. Having said that, first of all, Odogwu and Aisha don't do prank. I mean, people keep saying prank. They don't do prank. We replicate realities. We see happenings. We bring them to your face. We are just vessels. We just replicate. We are just mirror. We want you to, look at us. Mirror. It's a reflection of whatever it is you want to see. So what we do here is we bring reality through us, and you see it. You look at us, you see what is happening. That's just it. Answering your question, saying if some of the things we do or most of the things we do, right, if they are real or fake.
They're fake or prank.
Okay, no, I think I've justified the fact that we don't do prank. We are not pranksters. We are content creators, real life content creators. We depict reality. Now, are they false or are they true? My husband is a very intelligent person. He would never bring to your face what is happening to him. No, because he knows a place of privacy. Everything you see him bring to your space is a story we want you to learn from. Because truth is that these things are happening. Truth is that the marriage institution, marriage institution is being challenged. People just want to keep living in fantasies. They just want to keep painting, giving you fairy tale kind of story, kind of love life, blah, blah, blah. And then those ones wow you. But we bring to your faces the Gbasbo's marriage's face. Because in essence, in reality, marriage is the face Gbasbo's every day on a daily basis. So what Odogwu and Aisha do is that we bring to your face, we make you see that these things are real, these things happen. And beyond it, if you stand with each other, you would overcome it. You and your husband, you have problems. They will take you to your village people, umada, umunna, the faga doggy van. But if Odogwu, your husband, holds you the way Odogwu holds his wife, Ijoma, you people would overcome it. That's just what it is. It would be unwise for people to say marriages don't have upheavals. Marriages have so many upheavals because without it, it is not marriage.
Let's help you create some magic. Let's help you capture your best moments. Let's help you relive your memories. Book us now at Yarn Content Factory. Let's give your events and video production the perfect touch.